Welcome everybody back to the TDJ show. Today it is me, Tanner, and today is Thursday. Now the playing games do start. Right now is 4:51. I'm going over my bracket real quick, so nothing special today. This is what I chose for games. Now keep in mind, I do have some games that might seem unrealistic, but they're upsets, and I think they could happen too. So you're really not going to get an in-depth shot. You might get a few, and there's a reason why, but you're not going to get a huge in-depth reason why I picked this team. Um, we'll start off with Gonzaga and Norfolk State. Ben Affleck. Gonzaga versus the winner of Norfolk State and Appalachian State. That's happening today. I got Gonzaga winning that. The 8-9 game, Oklahoma, Missouri. I got Missouri winning that. It was released yesterday that somebody from Oklahoma did test positive for COVID, so they are losing somebody. So Missouri is on a man up. So I got Missouri winning, Creighton beating USB, Virginia beats Ohio. Uh, For me, on my actual bracket, I'm looking at my one of the brackets I did on ESPN. I have the winner of Wichita State and Drake beating USC. Um, Kansas beating Eastern Washington, Oregon beating VCU, and Iowa beating Grand Canyon. I got Michigan beating the winner of Mount St. Mary's and Texas Southern. I have St. Bonaventure beating LSU, Georgetown beating Colorado, Florida State beating UNC Greensboro, BYU beating the winner of Michigan State and UCLA, Texas beating Albine Christian, and UConn beating Maryland, and then Alabama beats Iona. In the South, I have Baylor beating Hartford, North Carolina beating Wisconsin, Winthrop upsetting Nova, Purdue beating North Texas. Now, I think that Purdue North Texas game that could be a bracket buster for in some sort. I do think I do think North Texas could win. I think that's one of the underrated matchups in this whole tournament for the first round. Texas Tech, Utah State. Texas Tech winning that. I do have Colgate upsetting Arkansas. Now we got to keep in mind that Colgate was the second best scoring offense in the nation behind Gonzaga. I know it's not talked about much because they're in the Patriot League and they, are a small school, but still, Colgate's a good team. I got Virginia. The first game of the round of 64 is Virginia Tech and Florida. I do have Virginia Tech beating Florida, and then I have Ohio State beating Oral Roberts. In the Midwest, I got Illinois beating Drexel, Loyola Chicago beating Georgia Tech. Now, Moses Wright has tested positive for COVID, which means if um, the Yellow Jackets do beat Loyola Chicago, they will he will be missed for 2 games. So I do have Loyola Chicago beating Georgia Tech. I have Oregon State beating Tennessee, Oklahoma State beating Liberty. I have Syracuse beating San Diego State, and one of my Oregon State and Tennessee is an upset. One of my upsets is Morehead State over West Virginia. That was my non-other upset besides the 5-12 games. I do have Clemson's beating Rutgers, and I have Houston beating Cleveland State. Now to the round of 32. I Gonzaga beating Missouri, Virginia beating Creighton, Kansas beating the winner of Wichita State and Drake. And I do have an upset here as Oregon does beat Iowa. I think Oregon's got the capability to beat Iowa. I know people have been talking about that. In the West, East Michigan beats St. Bonaventure, Florida State beats Georgetown, Texas does beat BYU, and Bama beats UConn. In the South, I got Baylor beating North Carolina, Purdue beating Winthrop, Texas Tech beating Colgate, and Ohio State beating Virginia Tech. In the Midwest, I got Illinois beating Loyola Chicago. I got Oklahoma State beating Oregon State. I do have Syracuse beating Morehead State, and I do have Clemson. I know, not Clemson, but I have Houston beating Clemson. In In the Sweet 16, I have Gonzaga versus Virginia. I got Gonzaga winning. Kansas versus Oregon, got Kansas winning. I believe Michigan beats Florida State, and Alabama beats Texas. I have Purdue beating Baylor beating Purdue. I do have Ohio State beating Texas Tech. And then I have Illinois beating Oklahoma State, and I do have Houston beating Syracuse. Now in the Elite Eight, I have Gonzaga moving on to the Final Four, Michigan moving on to the Final Four, Ohio State moving on to the Final Four. I do have them beating Baylor, and I have Illinois beating Houston. Now, I know my Final Four picks were differ from the ones I said on the live stream, but based on the field and stuff and how the matchups go, I've changed my mind. In the Final Four, I have Gonzaga beating Michigan, Illinois beating Ohio State once again. And then in the championship game, I have Gonzaga beating Illinois. And if the tiebreaker, the final score will be 76-74. So nothing major based on the time that I'm putting this video out, which is on me. So it is 4:57. We are about 13 minutes away from the tip-off of Mount St. Mary's and Texas Southern. So, that being mine, I'd like to thank everybody for watching today's episode. Go tell your family, friends, subscribe, like, and go follow me on Instagram at Pit Talk. I'll see y'all later.